Hey, hi, hello everyone, it's Wizardy Source Tano here, music guy, and it's time for another, oh shit, let me just get rid of that, there we go, monthly track roundup. In these videos, I'll go over the music I've listened to that has come out within the last 2 months or so, and do my thoughts. These are just meant to help fill the void in between videos and help pad music content between any other types of content I have, especially the next Ranking All Songs videos. Those take a long time, and I'm already working on the next one, so please, be patient. If there are albums you were hoping to see on this list and I didn't mention them, let me know. Maybe I'll listen to them and put them on the next one. Also, quick side point, some viewers of the Tyler video are saying I don't like a certain album, for example, Wolf, when every score I gave for Wolf was a 7 or above, other than 3 songs. 7 out of 10 is a good score. 7 out of 10 is not average for me. I hope that clears up any confusion. With all that out of the way, for January and February, I'm going to be covering 5 albums and 10 singles, starting with the 4th studio album by Cali Uchis, who I never really delved into prior to being with my girlfriend. I usually would hear her doing incredible singing features, mostly if you could believe it, on Tyler the Creator songs. So after listening to her discography in small spurts, I knew I had to check out the next album. Also, I learned she was with Don Toliver and had a baby on the way. I don't think that the Drugs and Hella Melodies video was just a music video, if you get what I mean. As for the album, it's a nice mix of Spanish-English lyricism with great synths and singing harmonies. The album is peppered full of themes relating to sex, beauty, being in love, and even heartbreak. The opening track of Como Así is a dancey, high-energy vibe, which what I feel is Cali singing in a spacey way. Really opening the album with a flowy vibe, it helped me loosen up and settle into what this album might be like. I love the way the song incorporates more hi-hats and claps later in the track, which ups the tempo. When you transition to the rest of the tracks, the vibe slows down. Mi Pongo Loca is a slowdown song talking about how Cali is attempting to move on from a past relationship, but questioning the pain and feelings of the former partner and whether her crazy tendencies and passions were warranted. Igual que un Angel with Peso Pluma is another dancey, floaty, love-centered song discussing a beautiful person like an angel, wanting nothing more but peace without pain. Peso Pluma adds a nice deeper voice to the track, especially with the harmonies in the chorus. I really like this track talking about her being God's favorite and she knows it. But to make sure no one confuses the main character for being overconfident, she contrasts it with the line, "Never forget what's real." But easily, my favorite track, and what I think is the best track, is Te Mata. It is a strong track with an incredibly impressive singing performance from Cali. It's a song about finally exiting a long toxic relationship and finally being able to air out the pain you felt during it. I especially love her lines discussing her feelings toward her toxic ex and how they might say Cali is evil, but if that's the case, then so be it. All in all, this album is great, and I love almost everything on it. I do feel the album starts strong and begins to taper off near the middle, but it ends amazing with Dame Beso Muévete.
I think this album is a strong 8 out of 10.
This and the next album will be more of an update on my opinions from my reacting to INSANO and American Dream video. So let's get this out of the way. No, it has not gotten any better. I've actually lost songs that I listened to. I've revisited this album hoping for the best to hit me, but my opinion still stands pretty strong on it. It's a pretty large miss in Cudi's discography for me, and I originally left with 3 songs I liked, got it up to 5, and now I'm back down to 3 that I continue to revisit. Overall, it's just rough how this album feels unrefined, aggressively overproduced, yet it still finds a way to feel bare bones and broken to me. What I do still find interesting is Cudi's choice to take XXXTENTACION's song Orlando and just add drums in his verse and say, "It's my song." That still blows my fucking mind. Either way, this album is still very low on my Cudi ranking list.
I feel like the score I gave originally has gone down closer to a 3 out of 10. It's not a huge drop, but still a drop for me personally.
Rich nigga, got my scrap from Tommy Hilfiger. Red, white, and blue America.
This album had almost the same effect that INSANO did. I lost songs I've listened to, and I feel the album may have been overhyped by me. As I alluded in the reaction video, I had a feeling this would feel similar to other 21 Savage projects, due to his delivery on some songs sounding similar to some of his features and past songs. I had good intuition, but this is still a very well-rounded album, and it's a full experience in itself, rather than a rerun of 21 Savage songs and features. He has some good performances on the album, even with some similarities. Originally, I had left with a decent sum of songs, but now, I see myself only returning to about 3 or 4. One that did heavily fall off for me though was Red Rum. Not sure if it's because I'm hearing it more and feeling it slowly becoming overplayed to me, or just me not liking it as much now. I still return to Nina, Red Sky, Prove It, and to a lesser extent now, Dark Days. I think this album sits closer to a 6 out of 10 now, rather than the original 7 out of 10 I gave it.
You ain't heard my music while you balling up your feet.
Just like my discovery of Quadeca's 2022 album, I Didn't Mean to Haunt You last year, this album is also a great experimental adventure from Quadeca. When I listened to the original single for this, A La Carte, featuring Break-Ins, I wasn't a huge fan, but the song has grown on me. The album is more what we got on I Didn't Mean to Haunt You, but to an upper, more refined degree in my opinion. It was already good, but this album pushed past what I thought Quadeca could do. He has perfected the vocal effects he uses and found which ones work best in what scenarios. The album also seems like he's showing every single hand of cards he holds. He has his slow and somber sad tracks with I Make It Look Effortless, You Tried That Thing When You're Human, and Guide Dog. You have him rapping in his most confident style on Guess Who, which is easily my favorite track, especially with that fast end verse. You have his full experimental cuts with Dust Cutter, Even If I Tried, Being Yourself, and Texas Blue. And you have what I can only describe as experimental pop or folk influenced songs like Easier. I love this album, and I hope it stays as high as it does right now for me. And I think the reason I love it so much more than I Didn't Mean to Haunt You was because I'm able to pull songs out and listen to them on their own. Whereas I Didn't Mean to Haunt You is more of a full album experience to me, and I can't just pull one song out and listen to it on its own.
For me, this album is a strong 8 out of 10.
I'm going to do my best to talk about this album without bringing up Kanye's character till the end, because I want to try and focus on the music if I can before mentioning, it. This album is not good. It's very rough, and it kind of feels like Donda 2 to me, and it doesn't know what it wants to be. I can't see what the vision or idea was supposed to be. The biggest positive I can give for this is the features and Ty Dolla $ign's presence on the album, but no positive can save the album from its own songs that shoot it in the foot. Hood Rat is a terrible song. It's so annoying, and it just overall has no redeeming qualities. Paperwork feels like it's trying to reinvoke the feeling of Yeezus or 808s, and it just sucks and falls flat on its face. Talking is odd because I think bringing your daughter to rap on your track is cute and doesn't do any harm. That's all it is, but I'm always going to skip North's part or the song entirely because it does get annoying even for the short time she's on the track. Back to Me is also awful, especially for a minute and a half you're listening to Kanye say, "Beautiful big titty butt naked women just don't fall out the sky, Page should be a good song, but Kanye fucks up the whole song with some awful vocals. The same issue applies to Fuck Some.
Even Jesus ain't marry a virgin.
A lot of the mixing on this album is also garbage. To finally touch on what makes this album really difficult to talk about, Kanye's reputation, statements, and how it affects the album.
Kanye multiple times on this album reiterates his anti-Semitic mindset, admits his current wife is merely there because she looks like his ex-wife Kim Kardashian, and has an insane confidence of not being able to be canceled or taken down due to his legacy and popularity. The unfortunate part is he's right about his popularity based on all of the songs on Vulture's charting, and he still has 2 more of these albums on the way.
This album is really only good if your standard for Kanye is literally Jesus is King. And even then, I'm gonna regret saying this later, I'd probably rather listen to that. This album for me is a 2 out of 10. It's a loose mess of what feels like Kanye trying to cling to his rapping and producing career, but none of it is as impressive or interesting as his past work. Even Donda had bad tracks that I felt were better than most of this.
Suck on me publicly.
Now for the singles I've had in my rotation and my rating for each of them. When We Die, Can We Still Get High featuring Lil Yachty by Youngblood. Just a mellow guitar singing rapping song with a decent Yachty feature. Definitely on the lower end of my rotation, but it still needs to be mentioned. 6 out of 10. A Cold Sunday, Lil Yachty. A good soul rap hybrid track with Yachty rapping to fully rap. This run from Yachty is something that needs to be studied. 8 out of 10. Had a Cry featuring See You Next Year and Ice Cold Bishop by AG Club. A rap hybrid track with some amazing vocals and a good verse from Ice Cold Bishop. A great smooth vibe all around. If you haven't listened to AG Club, I fully endorse you should. I also got the chance to meet Baby Boy. That was the highlight of last year for me. 8 out of 10. SUKI, Eric Reprid. I've listened to Eric Reprid before, but this is more Cardi inspired than what I'm used to. And I think Eric has a good vocal delivery for this style. I think he was also having a lot of fun, because he has so many goofy and funny lyrics, like he literally says on the song,
I fuck so much pussy, I might switch the bussy. The bitch is Asian and I call her for some SUKI.
and I want to hear what else Eric can do with this sound vocally. 7 out of 10. Black Ops with Denzel Curry by Kid Cudi. Cudi's immediate follow-up single after INSANO, which we already learned I wasn't a huge fan of, and the song is okay. Cudi's verses are good and more mellow and straightforward. I will say this is the first time a Denzel Curry feature or verse has had me taken back in a more negative tone. His deliveries are weird and kind of just feel like he wasn't caring, so he tried to have a little bit of fun, but it still came out like he was just putting nothing into it. 5 out of 10. Back in Love and Yearn 101 by ScHoolboy Q. The next ScHoolboy Q era is coming, and he is starting incredibly strong with 2 new songs. Back in Love, which dropped on YouTube, and Yearn 101, which dropped on Spotify. Both of these songs are really strong, and show ScHoolboy Q has not stopped that grind, and is beginning to tease his next album, Blue Lips. Both of these songs give me a feeling of an early rapper and the hunger they rap with. Don't get me wrong, ScHoolboy Q has always had that sound, but this feels somehow different. Either way, both songs are great. Both are 8 out of 10.
020299, That Mexican OT. I knew of Mexican OT, but I hadn't never listened to him, and I'm happy this is my first song I listened to. I am a big fan of it. The beat is good, his rapping's great, and I love how he rolls R's on words that don't even have R's.
Ain't nobody to tell me shit cause I got cut.
And I especially love when the beat breaks and he incorporates negrito into the pause. Also, easily my favorite line is,
I ain't fucked your sister, bitch, I'm just a motherfucker. Nah, I'm lying, I knocked her ass down too and we got in lots of trouble. Ugh.
This song is easily an 8 out of 10.
Ragdoll and Clandestine by Vana.
Vana is back on my list and has dropped 2 singles within the first 2 months of 2024, starting with Ragdoll. It's a babycore metal track about being a murderous ragdoll. It's pretty on brand for Vana's music, nothing out of the ordinary. As a song, it's not bad, just definitely not exactly my vibe or what I want from Vana's music. I do know she's been practicing her screams and yelling. You could tell because they sound great. I will say one of the yells sounds like the jump scare from FNAF 6. And I just thought that was funny. I just wanted to mention that. Clandestine is the other single and is a lot more focused on Vana as a singer. Though you still get metal influenced screams and heavy instrumentations throughout the track and especially later on. This song gives me a very, very loose feeling of Evanescence, and I like it a lot more. Hearing her sing fully is really intriguing. I want to hear how this sort of singing will sound on a more mellow instrumentation rather than the metal ones. Ragdoll is a 6 out of 10. Clandestine is an 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment what you thought of any of the albums if you listen to them. If you disagree with my opinion, please explain to me why I'm wrong and what would be right to you. Anyway, keep listening to your music. Your opinion is meant to please you and only you. Enjoy your life, and I'll see you next time.